afternoon. Welcome. We got a little more for you. It's called After the Show. And one thing I didn't get to expand upon a little bit more, but to me, a breath of fresh air that has happened for the first time in a very long time is there's a couple things that all sides can agree on. Kathy Griffin did a horrible thing, and that severed head prank thing that she did with Donald Trump trying to make a statement. Everyone is one-sided on that. And the other thing that I really love is this Kofifi tweet that happened last night, because it seems like everybody is having fun with it. I am getting stuff from people I know to be on the left and people I know to be on the right. And even Donald Trump is having fun with it. He, last night at 12:06 a.m., put out a tweet that said, despite the constant negative press, Kofifi, Covfefe, and I think it was just something he was trying to write, and obviously it's just a Twitter typo, and it's early in the morning, and he's been up late, and God knows he's tired. And he then tweeted out earlier this morning, who can figure out the true meaning of Kofifi? Question mark, question mark, question mark, and then he put enjoy. And, of course, there's all kinds of, tweets that's going out and memes and all that kind of stuff, and, everybody's having fun with it.
That's fun.
Yes.
When you laugh at your mistakes and everybody else is having a good time with it, that's healthy.
Yes, exactly. And it's really the first thing that I've seen since all this election BS where everybody's like, okay, cool. You know what? It's lighthearted. We're having fun with it. Somebody I know that is a humongous Trump supporter, he even sent in, they've already made little boards like it was on Wheel of Fortune. You fill in the blanks and it should be negative press. Kofifi. People are also making parody songs of it. I've already seen these up on YouTube.
You say Kofifi and I say Kofefe, or maybe Kofefe, or maybe Kofefi, Kofefi, Kofefe, Kofefe, Kofifi. Let's call the whole thing off.
There you go. So, everybody's jumping on board.
That guy doesn't have a job.
No. That's what people are doing. So, you know what?
That's quick.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, this isn't that old of a story. I don't know when you're listening to this podcast, but yeah, this is pretty new stuff. So people are all over already. So I'm happy to see that. That's refreshing for anybody like me. It doesn't feel like they got a horse in the race, and just so sick of how tense this country has been for the longest period of time. It's nice today. Feels like a breath of fresh air to me.
To be loose and laugh.
Yes, it's nice. Gosh, I forgot what it felt like. Oh my gosh. Here's an email from Juliana. This is another dumb thing that people are doing. She said, for a sudden death idea, you guys should try the floor is lava game for 24 hours.
What is that?
What it is, little kids do that. You ever seen that? My son Cannon will do that when we're walking through like the Gardens Mall and you got different colored tiles.
The red ones are lava.
Yes. Okay. And so you look like a goon. You're like scaling the wall and you're like trying to walk all this stuff. And I always play the kid games. And so, we're doing silly things. But what they're doing and why it's going viral, it seems like it's more people in their early 20s are doing it, late teens, early 20s. They're going up and they'll be like at a place in public, like a Home Depot, and they'll be like, the floor is lava. And you'll be like, ah! And you got to like find a place to try to get off the ground. And so they're like, one person jumped on, they had those big carpet rolls. Somebody jumps on, tries to hang on to one of those. Somebody's at a grocery store and they jump right into the shelf where they have like the paper towels. Somebody's at a fast food restaurant and be like, the floor is lava. Like, ah! And she jumps up on the counter and she's like, everyone, the floor is lava. And so, people are jumping up on tables and all that kind of stuff.
That's fun. If everybody plays, that's awesome.
Yeah. It might be fun to just go out and maybe do a dumbass video, see how people react to it.
We used to do it with sharks. It wasn't lava. If you were on your bed and you touched the carpet, a shark bit your foot. That means you're out of the game for 10 minutes. Little kid games.
Mm-hmm. Fun little games. So that's what the people are doing. So somebody walks up and says, the floor is lava. He's like, what do you mean the floor is lava? It's the kids' game. Have some fun with it.
The floor is lava.
Yeah, where they're making the videos. That's kind of what it is. It's a thing that you put up on Snapchat or whatever. You go out with your friends and you do the floor is lava and you see how they react. Kind of like that.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you for the idea. Somebody else, Red, sent in this email and said, hey, whatever happened to Jason changing his middle name to Pizza? He was complaining how hard it was, but David's Bridal makes it so easy and advertises starting at $19.
That's not how it works, man. To get your middle name, changes pizza. You got to go sit down with the courthouse. We went through. People call me out all the time on this, but there's a whole process with it. Unless they know this a shorter way. I mean, what the hell is that?
It's davidsbridal.com. You go on there, and apparently they have a link that will make it fast and easy to change your name should you be getting married. I don't know if it's the same thing if you're changing your name to a piece of food.
Yeah, they're already looking at me with a little stink eye. Radio douche.
You should tell them you're marrying pizza. Maybe change your last name to Pizza.
Yeah. I'm getting it. I'm gonna get it changed.
Okay,
I'll get it changed. I promise.
And Nicole wants to know, hey, whatever happened to the Suits eating game? Bring it back. She wants another round of that.
Where we feed Suits regular stuff that everybody should know, and he's like, "What is this, Suits? It's an apple."
Yeah, well, you know what? He's never, and this is the thing. Like Suits has dropped a ton of weight, here recently. He started to eat better because he. I see my son Cannon is going to be like this. The kid eats like 3 different things. It's one of the most discouraging things in my life because
Magnolia was like this too. Just know she's coming out of it.
Yeah, the Queen and I had a talk over the weekend, and we're like, okay, because what happens is here I am during the week doing all the work for the radio show and things like that, and then in the morning his lunches get made for school and all that kind of stuff, and so. We don't have any food in the house, and he won't eat anything anyway. And that's always been the argument. Well, he won't eat anything. But he winds up, he'll have like cookies for breakfast. He'll have corn dogs for dinner. He eats like 3 different things. He'll have chicken fingers. He'll have pizza. That's about in donuts. That's about the extent of what the kid eats.
I love the menu this kid is following.
So,
who wrote this menu? Jay Bird?
No, and I've been all over my wife for a while, and it's her mom is a big part of it. It's doing it. Her mom still, like, her diet is like garbage, at least.
But she looks good though.
She does.
She without a doubt does not gain weight.
But all of her food pretty much is like, I see kind of like what she has, and it's that processed kind of like food. It's Frosted Flakes. It's stuff that's Cheez-Its, things like
good
that.
Stuff. That's exactly what I got on my cupboard.
Stuff. Pretty much everything's like straight out of a box. It's a lot of frozen ice cream, things like that.
No prep. No, like, cooking things.
Yeah, no. And it really, there's...
making.
I don't know that I ever see her, like, eating any vegetables, any fruit, any kind of, like, meat that's not something that's, processed and packed into whatever.
A lot of judging going on right now.
Yeah, there is, definitely. Well, there's judging because my son's involved. Like, I don't try to, like, if other people want to do stuff, that's fine, but... you have a responsibility for your kids. So, yeah, I do definitely judge what my son eats.
This is the one job that you're not supposed to mess up. It's called dad.
Right.
And when you mess this one up, it has really bad ramifications.
Yeah.
Do you want him to eat like this his whole life?
No, I don't.
Of course not.
So, and I think Suits is trying to, expand his horizons now. But, he started that way as a kid, and he's just, and so I'm like, oh, man, Cannon is going to be 21, like Suits' age. And he's going to still be eating the same stuff. And, Suits, since he stopped, he's dropped a ton of weight. And he feels better, it sounds like. And he's looking better. And I was talking to we had the same trainer. And my trainer's, like, really impressed with what Suits is doing. I talked to him yesterday.
Good.
And he was like, yeah. He's like, and admittedly, Suits had to start from square one. I mean, he hadn't done anything. But he's, like, up to, like, doing, like, a push-up now. Can actually push his body weight off of the floor.
Nice.
And he's working to doing a pull-up. He's still doing them assisted, but he's making these steps.
And if Suits sticks with it, in a year, he'll be next level.
Yeah, and it does. It takes a little bit of time, but I'm impressed with his commitment. So Suits came to me yesterday, and he's like, hey, I need some advice like on eating, and I'm still trying to get there. I mean, I've got my basic food goal is I want, vegetables, lean meats if I do any meats. And I want everything about 400 calories, and I want it to cost about $7. And so I think I found like a food prep service that hopefully I'm going to be starting here. And so I was letting them know, but I'm like, can Suits, would he, like, I just had like a Mojo pork thing. I'm like, would he?
It's pronounced mojo.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mojo.
Well, I learned stuff.
She pork. Says mojo, you say mojo. I like it.
She says kofifi.
I say kofafi.
Mm-hmm. So, trying to get on that with Suits. But, yeah, I think he's still in that zone where he's trying to expand, but, it's still a ways to go. And so he's just discovering all these new foods for the first time.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
It's nice of you to take him under your wing.
What do you think is the best food on Earth? What country has the best food on Earth?
Oh.
What do you think?
That's going to be tough.
It's a ranker poll. I've got the top 12. in the world, and U.S. is 12.
I mean,
on the ranker list.
I love Italian food. I mean, pizza alone is my number one. I like you say, I could eat pizza if I had to. I could do it.
It'd be the one food,
and not be upset about it.
If I throw diet caution to the wind, that kind of stuff, pizza's my number one planetary food.
Italian, they got fettuccine, you got spaghetti, you got lasagna. There's a lot of stuff, and I know there's a lot of stuff.
All pasta.
Yeah, but
I know, but it's great. I know.
Alfredo and lasagna, they get different. I see what you're saying because sometimes
You can do different things with it.
But you can argue a lot of these foods kind of start tasting the same. Chinese food, a lot of the stuff is very similar.
I wouldn't put Chinese as the best cuisine. I would put French.
French, okay. You guys are both right up there. Italian is number one according to Ranker, and French is 2. So they say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the French stuff. I know that you're telling me they got a lot of sauces. They kind of sound like fancy-ass sauces.
And I like Mediterranean. I'd say that'd probably be my number one that I like. And there's a lot of diversity there, I feel.
Give me like their top 3 dishes for Mediterranean.
Well, you've got hummus.
I do
which
love.
is in there.
I actually love hummus.
Yeah, it's great. Like the Greek salads, pitas are up in there. You have the, where you have like the gyros are up there.
Lamb meat.
Warm pita with a good hummus. Oh, man.
phenomenal.
It is really good.
All day long.
I'm telling you, if you are a hummus head out there, you like hummus a lot, try the garlic hummus from Publix. It's the Publix version.
Okay.
It's the generic. It's the best hummus
on
on
point,
the market.
huh?
It's so good. I have not had a hummus that good. It's so good.
So I would put for mine, I put Greece up there. Just got like Mediterranean. That does cover a region more than just a country. But they've got Greece at 6th
What
on
about
their list.
Japan? I'm thinking like sushi and all
Yeah,
that.
Japan is 5, and I'd have to agree that might be because I eat a lot of sushi. I had sushi last night.
That would be my least favorite.
I go once a day.
Sushi.
It's real healthy for you.
I think
It's good stuff.
you would like tempura.
I don't know what it is.
It's kind of like
Fried.
What is it?
the
Is it
closest thing to
fish?
fried. I think you'd probably take it. Be like,
I don't like. I'm not a big fish guy. Fish, I don't know. Talk about a thing that tastes the same. Oh my god.
They do a lot of like shrimp tempura, kind of like stuff like that.
Shrimp. I can get down with.
Yeah,
Shrimp is good.
probably be stuff you'd like most.
They do vegetable tempura.
Sounds awesome.
Number 4, they got Spain, and number 3, they got India on the ranker list.
Ooh, curry.
Oh, curry sauce.
Curry is basically, I mean, that is just the home run of India.
What would you say if someone said, "All right, give me the big 3 American dishes, not pizza, but something where it came from America and you would back it up"?
Do we get credit for hamburgers?
Do we?
Do we
Is
get
that-
credit for hot dogs?
I don't know. That's a great question.
They're pretty
I feel
good.
like we should.
We should. Nothing says like 4th of July, like a hamburger and a hot dog.
So you'd put hamburger, hot dog in there.
Yeah. What about ribs?
Ribs, I think ribs belong in there.
Yeah, I mean barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay, barbecue is an American thing.
As far as I know, I mean somebody can
It feels
call me a dick face if I'm wrong, but
It feels
will.
American, dick face.
yeah,
Tweets coming to Kevin the Dick Face.
What do you know? Cub's a dick face. Yeah, I feel like that's up there. I mean, things that are just naturally ours, and I think that we've done tweaks to the pizza and stuff like that. You could say, and I'd assume New York style is different than Italian pizza, right? And so is Chicago deep dish.
I think
Yeah.
you got
Chicago dogs.
We've taken the pizza and we've made it our
We
own.
different stuff, and I think you'd probably say the same thing for Mexican food. I mean, I know people knock Taco Bell for it, but the nachos with that melted kind of like cheese the way we do it. Do they do that a lot in Mexico?
I think that's an American thing.
Yeah,
I think-
Because we've gone to authentic Mexican places before, and it's not like Taco Bell.
We're kind of what America is. We're kind of a bastardization of original country's food that we take because we are a melting pot. We're all from somewhere. I mean, that's really what America is. So it's not like a lot of these countries that had their own established ethnicities that goes back 10,000 years.
Would this restaurant work? It's all rice stuff. It's every kind of different type of rice, almost kind of like the cereal restaurant, but it's all cheddar and broccoli rice, stir fry rice. Does that work? Is that appealing for people? I mean, we're talking shit tons of rice.
I think it could be, but
Offers up some good breads with it, maybe some soup.
you have carb loading.
I think that's it. I think
Double
you are a
carb.
carb enthusiast.
I am, man.
Yeah.
That's another reason why you would like France, because they do bread with everything and lots of wine too.
Yeah, man, bread to me is it's the equalizer in life.
Yeah, I mean, I love it too. I do, but I think for me, there's like, I got to have it mixed in with something.
Denny was telling me, you know what's kind of messing me up, though, thinking about bread? Some of that bread, did we bring this up before? How some of the bread's made with human hair?
Yeah, you did. There was
it's in my head.
It's things that are in your food that you wouldn't believe. You would go, oh my gosh.
Why would they put hair in bread?
Because it makes it
I think it's elasticity,
yeah,
right?
it is. Well, it's not the actual hair. I guess they melt it down into the bread to give it that elastic feel.
All right, which bread has the hair so I cannot buy it?
I think it's everything but sourdough. I think sourdough is the only one that doesn't do it. Denny's.
Denny's?
Yeah,
Tell us about this hair bread.
He's the one that told me about it, and we were looking into it. It's fucking real, man.
Oh, man, that's disappointing.
Does that gross you out, Kev?
Well, I mean, when something's cooked and impurities and things like that are taken out and they're using it for stuff, yeah, I mean, it is slightly gnarly.
Where are they getting
the
hair from?
Yeah, who's the guy that the hair they're using? I want to meet him.
Is it dead body hair?
Yeah, it's corpse hair.
It's cadaver hair?
Without a doubt, yeah. They shave down corpse heads and they, and then they take it right to the bread factory.
You're fucking with us.
I just like the looks on your faces.
I thought he had it pulled up.
Maybe they're using his hair.
I mean,
that's what happened.
Would it shock you?
Damn it. Duncan Hines stole my damn hair.
All the hair that Kevin's lost.
Yeah, when I'm asleep, they're coming in and plucking it out.
Look, despite what my Aunt Ann says, I think your hair looks good. I really do. I think it's at a great length.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
It doesn't. I'm being honest.
Okay.
I don't think it looks bad.
I really don't.
You've come in here quite a few days recently where you had it coiffed.
Yeah, it's at a good length.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I'm doing the best I can.
I know you are.
And that's all anybody can do, you know?
But
doing the best I can with what I was given.
I just know you hear a lot of shit about your hair, and it's from, at least from me,
yeah.
I'm just fucking around with you.
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
Well, there's a lot of guys my age that, have just gone and they just shaved it all off. And
I don't think you're at that point.
No, not that point, and that's not where I want to go. And if I look great doing that, I would do it. But yeah, I just I think that actually might even be more work because I see some of those guys and they start to get like that stubble.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah, it seems like you're having to almost like every other day probably go through and shave it back out again.
Well, I know how you are. You don't like a lot of weird hair sticking out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. I mean, to keep it nice and fresh, I wouldn't go any more than 3 days without doing it.
Well, you almost kind of want that mystery of, is he doing it because he has to or not? And then you have those people that have kind of like, you can see the horseshoe effect on the top because it's grown in too much, and that's not great that way.
Even when, I feel so bad. Even when you bick it, I went to school with a buddy who was going bald. He would bick his hair completely, but for whatever reason, it still was dark. So he was bald, but you would see just this dark, almost hue to him.
It sucks.
It's like a 5 o'clock shadow just around your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it really, really bothered him.
It grows back just like the hair in your face pretty quick.
It does. That's why I don't think I'd want to go that route. I think it'd actually be a lot more work.
But I do think you wouldn't have that issue. I think once you went big, I think you'd have a nice, smooth,
I have lighter
bald-ass
colored
head.
hair, yeah. And it's thin, too. I wouldn't be like some of those guys. A little quick food alert, too. Denny's is now offering 24-hour delivery, and I'm not talking about our producer. The restaurant.
I'd be like, when is he going to have time?
He's gonna make my gosh, I'm so busy.
By the way, that's huge. Denny's doing the delivery, man. That's big because you're seeing what Outback just recently did it. Now Panera's doing it. Denny's is now doing it. Oh,
delivery's the way to go. And I
is.
think what took them so long, they have special packaging. They had to get this perfected. It'll keep things like pancakes and French fries from getting soggy because that would be the complaint. Is
good.
Some food would hold up better than others in the delivery game.
Stuff that doesn't get steamed well, like when you put a lid on stuff, it steams it.
Yeah.
Because the heat from the food creates that steam and that moisture.
Timing is so critical on some stuff. Like the other day, somebody had gone to McDonald's in my family, and there was a bag of McDonald's French fries sitting on the stove. I'm like, yes, I will. And I went in, and I had a couple fries. I'm like, oh, I forgot how good the McDonald's fries were. Passed around, did some other things. About 10 minutes later, I came back. I'm like, I think I'll grab another couple. And I was like, oh. I'm like, what happened?
They're cold.
In 10 minutes, McDonald's fries goes from the best thing ever to like, nah.
You know what? It's not just McDonald's. French fries in general don't keep well.
He's
Boy,
right.
you've
After
got to
an
get 'em.
hour,
Yeah.
Even I love food when it's been sitting out there for a minute. I like it.
It
French
turns into a whole
fries,
different thing.
They got to be fresh.
Yeah, even when you put them in the refrigerator and you try to put them back in the oven, they just do not heat up well.
Yeah.
They
No,
seem
I
like
hear
they
you.
get more greasy when you do that.
Yeah.
And then they're just wet and limp.
Fries, you got to eat it in the moment.
Yeah, so I assume Stoner's going to be rejoicing about this because, I mean, more delivery options. You get all toked up, and then you just sit home, make the call, and...
Moon's over my hammy, bitch.
Hey, don't forget, alcoholics like it too.
Got something going to be put up on Facebook today for a topic tomorrow. It's a fill in the blank. You know you're a stoner when. You know you're a stoner when.
I love it.
You do a backflip because Denny's has 24-hour delivery.
I mean, look.
Yeah. So we'll put that up.
You give me that information at age 5, I'm going to be doing backflips. That's big news.
I hear you. So we'll get that up later tonight. Go check out the KVJ Show Facebook page. Craig, hey, wanted to know a little bit about our thoughts on coffee. You saw Virginia sucking down that Cubista the other day. And
Cubester.
Yeah, he wrote a Cubista. He said, what does everybody drink in the morning to get going? We know Jaybird drinks the Squirt. What does everybody else do? That's from World of Beer, Craig.
I don't really do coffee that much. If I have a full night's sleep and I got my nap the day before, I don't need coffee. If I'm sipping coffee, it's because I'm in a desperate place.
Yeah, I drank coffee yesterday, and I feel it right away. And I didn't need coffee yesterday. Today, I definitely need coffee, and I didn't drink it only because I like the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then I don't know, it does something to me. Makes me feel like I don't know. I can't keep my thoughts together, and everything is I'm crashing.
I know you won't take my advice, but you just need less coffee. When you drink it, instead of doing a double, just do a single.
I mean,
That's insane.
Virginia.
Thank you, Kevin.
He won't do it.
Come on.
Come
I mean,
on.
it's the 2 cups that's doing it to him because I'm the same way.
Not go overboard.
1 cup, I'm good. I'm energized. I'm bright-eyed. I'm bushy-tailed.
No, you're right.
2 cups, I get a little squirrely. I start to look like a meth addict a little bit. I'm like a little jumpy and scratchy.
You're right. And people, you've told me on the air that I'm doing it wrong, and I keep doing it. And people are now going to email Kevin. Jaybird doesn't listen. Just fuck him. So,
Signed Virginia.
you got to stop emailing Kevin.
As a dude.
As a dude.
Yeah, what I do is I use Advocare products that they've got, and they have a little like energy shot. They've got Slam is the name of it, so I do like one of those in the morning. And if I need it a little bit later on, I do, but I do want to kind of get going. And then what I'm drinking right now is another powdery kind of like thing. It's called Spark. It's not as oomph, but it's kind of like a slow, steady stream of it.
Okay.
And it's like different flavors. Like this is like watermelon, so it's kind of like drinking a fruit punch. So it's good, yeah, because I'm not really that big of a coffee guy.
Oh, fruit punch, man. I am on a fruit punch kick right now. I can't stop
You said that about 8 years ago, too.
I did?
Yeah, you've been on it for a while.
No, I was on a grape Kool-Aid run for a minute.
Oh, okay. Now I think it's about the time you spilled it in the fish tank and killed the fish.
Oh, down, down, down.
They were Mariana's fish. Virginia should
Down,
like it.
down, down.
Fish killer.
I never want to see fish die,
I hear you.
but
It was horrific. It looked like I threw chum in the water.
And Tanya wants to know how to handle this tough social situation. She just graduated from UCF, and she's now moving to L.A., and on my flight from ATL to LAX, behind me is this reckless baby kicking and pushing my seat while seated on his mother's lap. Now, I understand she can't completely control what the baby wants to do, but is it rude for me to ask the mother to help her baby from being so disruptive? That is a long-ass flight. It's probably like 4 or 5 hour flight.
Okay, so I was at...
how old was the baby, too? I mean,
Does that matter? I mean, if the kid's like noticeably
Yes.
pushing your seat forward,
It
and
does matter
disruptive?
because if it's baby Rocco, I can't stop him. He is almost 2, and he's literally, you can't negotiate with him yet. He's not at the age where you can tell him to stop kicking, and he's going to do it because he knows about consequences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If it's a little kid, then nothing the parent can do.
Well, let me ask you this, because I mean, working with kids back in the baseball, I mean, I don't care if a kid is crying in public. It never bothers me. When you go out in public, shit's gonna happen. But I was having lunch with somebody, and they were very annoyed that the kid that the kid was in there, I would say about 20 minutes in this restaurant. It's
Yeah.
crying, it's screaming, and the parents are doing nothing. They don't take the baby out. They let it go. People are now getting annoyed.
Really?
Yes. Now, my whole thing, he was saying the parents should take the baby out of the restaurant because it's their baby, it's their issue.
Yeah.
Even if there's something wrong with the baby and,
Yeah.
and the baby has needs, you take it out away from the restaurant because that was their philosophy. Because the
I
parents weren't
agree.
doing anything about it.
I agree with that because people are trying to enjoy their meal or wherever they are.
They weren't, and they weren't doing it. It was 20 minutes, and
20 minutes is a long
and
time.
people, the waiters weren't saying anything. People were looking annoyed.
Nobody really can say anything, but the parents have to do something. You can't just think it's okay for your baby to cry and 20 minutes pass
Yeah.
and you're not trying to soothe the baby. Were they trying to like pick it up and pat it or take it outside or nothing?
I mean, it wasn't like they were ignoring the baby, but they were, kind of like, "Oh, come on now," and the baby the baby was not shutting up. It kept on going and going. I mean, it was a baby going through something.
I think the proper, the polite thing to do is, when you've got a kid that's crying like that, and you can remove yourself. You're on a plane, and you're flying for 5 hours. Different situation where you can't walk outside, and you're sitting in your seat, and you've got baby Rocco, and let's say the woman in front of you says, "Is there something you can do? Like the kid is like pushing me forward." And is very disruptive. I don't want to have to sit here for 5 hours with this continually going on. How do you handle that situation if you got baby Rocco on your lap, Virginia?
I would really try to do everything I could to maybe move him so his feet weren't hitting her because I don't want to ever make anybody's flight awful.
I think the first thing you do is, maybe try to, if you have family or somebody you're familiar with beside you,
Right.
turn the child sideways so that his legs
Absolutely.
are now in their seat. And so now it becomes a little bit more of our inconvenience rather than the person who we don't know.
I would put his legs in the aisle before
Yeah.
I let him continue to kick somebody.
And it's also just being cool. If you know one of your family members is fucking up other people's peace, offer to buy him, a drink or just make a peace offering.
Sometimes, too, if parents have multiple kids, they don't realize that one of them is being bad
Yeah, okay.
and kicking a seat.
Right.
And I've seen that where one of the kids will be little and the parents are taking care of the little kid and the other little kid is kicking a seat and the
Yeah.
parents don't even notice.
Yep.
And then the person will get all pissed and like yell, but you can't let your first engagement be yelling. You've got to just say, "Hey, you're kicking my seat. I don't know if you realize that. Can you not kick it?" You got to be nice at first because the parents might not
Yeah.
even know their kid is doing that.
Yeah.
You don't have to escalate an already bad situation by immediately popping off at a kid. Because if you yell at my kid
People are
in front of
defensive, yeah.
me,
Yeah.
and even if I didn't see what was going on, you're instantly the asshole.
Oh,
you don't yell at my kid. I yell
I
at my kid.
told you the time I was up at the theme park and I was with my friend and we were out there and this kid was throwing ice chips off people's heads. He hit her right in the face. And I said, "Don't throw stuff at people." That's not nice to do. The dad starts yelling at me and his kid is chucking fucking ice off people's face.
The right thing to do is address the parent because you should
There
never.
was no parent around.
Well, you said the dad was
No,
mad at
I
you.
started talking to I said, "You don't do that." And the dad walked over and started saying stuff. When he was doing it, there was a kid by himself. And as I started talking to the kid, the dad walked over wearing a Jets shirt.
The Jets shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Jets.
That's how you disarm that guy. Hey, look, asshole. Jets. He can't help himself.
Jets.
All right, where was I?
Yeah, I mean,
Never mind.
He'll lose his concentration
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. He
So
has
You
to do
have
it.
to address the parent. Don't address the child.
fuck that.
It's true, Jay Bird. What you do is you say to the kid, "Where's your mom? Where's your dad?" That's what you
I
say.
think I did. I mean, I wasn't, screaming at the kid, but the kid was throwing things off people's
I
face.
understand that, but you can't address the kid. You also can't scold the kid.
I can totally
Unless there's
address-
no parent there whatsoever, then
And
the
the-
last resort would be to address the kid.
Well,
but
if you're letting your kid throw ice around,
he
and-
probably didn't see it.
Who?
The dad probably didn't see it.
The dad, okay. The dad wasn't, it doesn't matter. The dad wasn't even there. I'm sorry, if a kid's throwing fucking ice off someone's face, I'm saying something to the kid. And
That's how you get into a fight with a dad. I'm just telling you, if you want to disarm the situation, you talk to the dad calmly. You don't say shit to the kid. Because if I catch somebody else saying shit to my kid, I don't care what my kid did, instantly, you're an adult yelling at my kid and you have no right to do that, and I'm in your face in about 42 half a second.
It happened quick. The dad wasn't around. I told the kid. Then the dad starts walking over, and that's what happened. Let fucking kids throw ice on people?
Now, were they throwing it at somebody that was in your group or somebody that was in another group?
They were throwing it at strangers, and then they threw it off the person I was with and hit him right in the face, hard.
And that's wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely
and there
wrong.
was an adult during that time,
Yeah.
so I said, "What are you doing?" As I'm talking to the kid, and this adult guy comes over, and then I got into it with the adult.
Yeah, you got to ask the kid where their parent is. You can't scold anybody else's kid.
I completely disagree with that.
Try that bullshit with the Mexican queen. See what happens.
Well, I mean, if the kid's wrong,
Even if the kid's wrong, you can't.
I'm sorry. If someone's throwing ice and it
You
could
can't. You got to tell the
you
dad.
try to diffuse the situation, and that's what I did. The kid stopped throwing ice.
People, my mom is a lot different than the Mexican queen. My mom, if you did that with me and were yelling at me, my mom would come up and going, "What did you do?" And she'd be in my face. And the Mexican queen, her first reaction, a lot of parents are this way. I'm not saying I agree with it. It's just how it is. And I know it seems like more moms are this way today, more protective and defensive of their kids, even if their kids are in the wrong, because they're like, nobody's going to yell at my kid. And it does. I see what you're saying too. I mean, I don't think you need to go around and have someone hit people you're with in the face with ice. Probably one of the big things you can do is you can do what you can to try to protect the person that you're with, and you have that right to defend yourself. And then the second thing is probably look for a park attendant if the parent's not around, saying, "Hey, this kid is throwing ice and hitting people in the face. Let the park attendant get into it, and then they can fight with Jet's dad." It's probably the easiest thing to do if you can get to that
Yeah,
point.
but I mean, when things happen in real time in life,
Exactly.
come on,
Yeah.
give me a break.
No,
That's a
but
tough
I'm just
thing.
trying to
It's
say,
easy to say,
for future reference, if you want to de-escalate anything, always try to take it to the parent.
Well, that's in a sense why we're getting in a lot of these airline fights and things that you're seeing out in public is things happen and someone's first approach is they're already at a high level. And then when the next person gets involved, they come in and match the same energy of the person that is upset. And a lot of times they probably start a fight and have no idea what they're even fighting about.
That
They're just sitting
happens.
there and going,
Yeah.
they're just trying to mirror the energy and the
What did I
negativity
just
of somebody
do?
else.
I mean, a lot of bar fights are like that. It
Sure.
happens in
Yeah.
5 seconds. Someone accidentally
You don't know what's
bumps-
going on.
No, half the time the people you're fighting with, you actually would probably be friends with.
yeah, and it gets away from you. But gosh, it makes great video, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes some unbelievable. I was down with Virginia last Thursday night. I thought I was going to have an unbelievable video. We were right down there. We were on Clematis Street, and there was this guy crossing the street. And he had like his earbuds in or something like that. And somebody honked the horn and kind of nudged forward in the car. And he's like, "Oh, hell no, you do not. Fuck you, man. I'm trying to cross the street." And I'm like,
He
and
was
I'm-
crossing, and he thought the guy was honking at him for being in the
I
crosswalk.
am so fast. I'm like, finally a viral video. I'm trying to get my phone out as fast as I
I
can.
know that.
Because I'm like, oh, guys, hurry up. And I'm trying to get the thing going. And then the guy starts going over to the car and he's cussing. He's going, "Fuck you, man." And I'm like, "Oh, shit, Kev, hurry up and get it." And I look and he starts talking. And just as soon as I'm ready to start recording, the guy's talking and this and that. And I'm like, "What's going on? Where's the fight?"
Same thing
What's
happened with
happening?
me, man.
He knew the guy in the car.
the
and
guy was beeping to
the
say
guy
hi.
was beeping to say hi, and his first reaction, because he had music on, he was startled, was fuck, and it took him a second to even see, and he had to walk over to the car to see who it was, but he was ready to go off on this guy.
Oh, I made a mistake in the parking lot here. It was just I wasn't trying to be a dick. I pulled out in front of somebody on accident, and it was one of our sales guys, and Denny's did the same thing, and both sales guys had the same reaction. "Fuck you, motherfucker! What the fuck you doing?" I'm like, "Sorry, I made a mistake. My bad. You must have a perfect driving record."
Well, it's kind of because people are so ready to jump hot.
Well,
They
but
are.
sometimes people out there on the road make a fucking mistake, and that's all it is.
But everybody's ready to jump hot, and that's why I think we wind up getting so many great fights today. But they've got to make it. I really need to get on this because I'm too slow on the uptake to get to my
Kev?
phone. I'm sure I'm missing out on so many great viral videos.
I was on North Lake Boulevard, and this old jacked up guy and this young jacked up guy start getting into it. I'm like, oh shit, viral video. I start recording. I think I showed it to you, Virginia. I had the back of the guy's head, and right as they're getting about to fight, I had to go because of the light. And people are, I know.
I got to learn the proper way, and I'm not in this habit yet. And that's what happens when you get in these moments, and they happen so quickly. Is I'm still trying to like do my code, get into my phone, find my app, open it up. Got to remember, if you got an iPhone, you just pop up like that. You got your phone thing that is right there. You hit the phone button, you slide right over to video, and boom, I'm recording in 2 seconds. I just got to get in that habit because in that moment, I'm always like, passcode.
Well,
so I'm not viral video ready.
The other thing too is when it's happening and you're in it, you're oh wait,
I know.
this is viral. Holy shit!
And by the time I realized what was
excited.
going on, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be fantastic, Virginia. This is going to be like 11 o'clock news kind of stuff. I thought I had it made. I'm like, oh man, they're friends.
Damn it.
So disappointed. So disappointed, but that's the way it goes. All right, try Bud's Chicken and Seafood with 7 locations in Palm Beach County. Bird sauce on the menu.
Yeah, they have shrimp. I love.
Yeah.
When's the last time? Have you had their shrimp?
I have. I love their shrimp. I had a seafood platter not too long ago, and I loved it.
Look at you.
I
do. Kids love the corn fritters. Try the corn fritters, kids.
Okay.
But don't listen to the podcast, kids, because it's a lot of bad words.
Never mind.
Never mind. All right, y'all have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.